In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful, welcome to DataStatPro. In this video, we will discuss a high-level overview of DataStatPro and its capabilities. DataStatPro is more than a statistical analysis software. It not only provides you the analysis of your data, but also provides you the intelligent and contextual write-up of your results. So the first thing first, how we can access DataStatPro. You can search DataStatPro on Google, and the very first link you can visit to access the DataStatPro. Or alternatively, you can directly write datastatpro.com in your web browsers and you can access it. So without wasting further time, let's jump into the DataStatPro. So you can open the app. So the first thing first, from where to start. So you can click on login or sign up. On the sign up page, you can see you can sign up with Google, or you can register yourself either with Google or by filling a very short form, or without any obligations. We have provided you a guest access. Nothing is required, no sign up, just you can continue as guest and you can access the full app. The only difference with registering and as continue as guest access is in guest access you can access the app with all statistical features, but it will be limited to use the application with preloaded sample datasets. But if you register with the DataStatPro, then you can import your own data and analyze your own data. So it's up to you whether you want to start it as a guest or you want to register it. So let's start as guest, continue as guest. As soon as I continue as a guest, you can see right now I am signed up as a guest, and you can access the various capabilities of DataStatPro through its dashboard with predefined sections, quick actions, data management, analysis, visualizations and reporting, and help. Or alternatively, you can access various components of DataStatPro through its sidebar. You have data management, few data management features, descriptive analysis feature, inferential analysis feature, correlation analysis, advanced analysis. There is a very specialized module which is the publication ready. So if you utilize this feature fully and you are clear about your data analysis plan, believe me, you can write your result section along with tables, figures, and it's right up in less than 15 minutes. So there are few data visualization options, and there is a complete module for sample size calculator. It's very comprehensive one. There is a specialized tool for epidemiologists, risk and rate and ratios calculator for case control studies, cohort studies, cross-sectional studies. Okay, so in addition to this, there is a complete analysis index. You can see all the capabilities are listed here. You can browse and choose the relevant to you and start analyzing, or you can search the analysis. For example, I want to perform a logistic regression. So as soon as I write the logistic, so it shortlists the analysis options, and from here I can directly go to the logistic regression dialog box where can I specify my variables and perform it. There is another cool feature, analysis assistant. You can access AI powered analysis assistant and you can write your queries in a free text. For example, compare blood pressure between male and female groups. So when you analyze it, it is giving you suggestions that to accomplish this research objective, you can apply independent samples t-test, man-Whitney test, you should perform descriptive analysis, and so on. So you can also see here that if you have loaded your data, it can also provide you suggestion about relevant to your data. So let's start. The first thing to utilize DataStatPro to import a data. So when you go to the import, so there are many features. If you are a registered user, you can upload your file in CSV, TXT, Excel, JSON file. You can, if you have collected the data from Google Forms and you know that there is a spreadsheet behind it, so no need to download. You can directly provide the URL link of your Google Sheet and you can directly access your data within the DataStatPro. As I mentioned earlier, because I am now logged in as a guest account, so I can only utilize the built-in datasets to explore the app. Let's start. Let me load health dataset. So health dataset has 100 rows and 12 columns. So, and this is the current dataset which is attached to my DataStatPro session. So you can even add more than one datasets. For example, if I go back to import section and maybe I also want to load student performance data, maybe I can load say survival analysis data. And so you can see right now for the current session of my datasets pro, there are 3 datasets loaded to this system. Let me set health dataset as the current data. So you can go to data editor and browse through the data. You can go to variable editor to see the information about variables. We have age as numeric variable, gender categorical, income numeric, education categorical, and so on. So here you can see, suppose if you want to change the type of the data, for example, smoker is 01, so 0 is for no, 1 is for yes. So by nature, it is a categorical data, so I change it to categorical. Similarly, heart disease 0, no, 1, yes. I also want to change it to numerical, so categorical data. So you can also specify the role of the variable, whether it is independent variable, a dependent variable, or a covariate. So I will discuss this feature later on in a separate video. So as I told you earlier that if there is a dataset loaded, then AI-powered assistant can guide you about your loaded dataset. For example, right now health dataset is loaded. It is telling you that you have 12 variables, 100 observations, 7 numeric, 5 categorical. So recommendation is that you have 7 numeric variables, these, and you can explore the correlations. You can, for example, you can compare the age between two groups of genders. You can apply an ANOVA test and so on. So let's start with the descriptive analysis. So let me click on the descriptive analysis. So as you know that the health dataset is loaded, so you can choose a variable on which you want to perform descriptive analysis. For example, I want to perform descriptive analysis of, say, weight and height and blood pressure. You can select as many as variables you want. There are some additional options which we can discuss later. You can click on calculate, and so you can see a dashboard appear containing the results. These are the descriptives of variable height. These are the descriptive like mean, confidence interval, standard deviation for the variable weight, and this is for the blood pressure. And it also tests the distribution of these variables, whether they are normal or not normal. If they are normal, it will tells you that the distribution is normal. Otherwise, it will say that the distribution is not normal. So there is another specialized tab, detailed statistics. So you can go there and access the long list of descriptives performed to this. There is a visualization tab, so you can see various visualization which can be performed. So this is the say the histogram like representation, and this is the distribution of the variable. This is the cumulative distribution. This is the QQ plot. This is the box plots of the variables. Similarly, if you want to make the frequency tables for the categorical variables, for example, say education, and click on generate. So you can see there is a table and a bar chart. And if you want, rather than a bar chart, if you want a pie chart, you can choose it from here. And here is the pie chart. And you can also utilize some other features as well. So for cross-tabulation, as you know, for the cross-tabulation, one variable served as a row variable and one is a column variable, say education by gender. So let's start with the default without advanced analysis option. Click on generate. So it generates a cross-tabulation containing the total percentage, the row percentage, the column percentage. Visualization, you can have a stack bar chart, a clustered bar chart, and a pie chart, within the gender. And the statistical analysis, the most popular method for cross-tabulation is the chi-square. So here is the chi-square value, degrees of freedom, p-value, and its effect size, and all the details, the interpretations of your results is written here. So in the same way, you can, for example, you want to perform, say, a t-test, an independent samples t-test. You can either scroll it from the sidebar, or you can go to the analysis index, or you can access through it through AI-powered analysis assistant. So there are many ways you can access the location of these analyses. Even you can access some of the analysis from the header. So this is the data management. This is the descriptive and descriptive module, as you know, contains descriptives of numerical variables, frequencies, cross-tabulation, normality test, So here is the inferential statistics. You can see you can access t-test, independent, one sample paired, and the alternative non-parametric tests. And even you can access the data visualization page. You can see either you can access through the top navigation bar, the sidebar, the analysis assistant, the analysis index. So there are so many ways to access it. For example, let's say I'm interested in performing independent samples t-test. So choose independent samples t-test. Uh, Say I want to compare blood pressure between gender, and one group is male and one group is female. And it's a two-sided test with 95% confidence interval. I also going to request to check the assumption whether in some situation if the data is not normal, then we cannot apply independent sample t-test. Then in that case we should use the alternative non-parametric test. Let me run the test, and here the first you can see the assumption check. Yes, normality assumption is met. The sample size is sufficient, and the quality of variance is also met. So this is the valid data to perform independent samples t-test. So you can see the results of independent samples t-test, a graphical representation, and the interpretation of the uh, independent samples t-test. The independent sample t-test was conducted to compare the blood pressure of male and female. So you can see this is a very much similar write-up which most of the journals require to include when you are writing your results. So similarly, you can uh, explore the various correlation analysis capabilities. Say, I want to perform a logistic regression, and the health data set is already loaded. So if I want to change the data set, I can change it from here. For now, I go with the health data set. Let me choose my independent variable like age, gender, income, education, satisfaction, height, weight, and the dependent variable is the heart disease, and it is asking you to uh, map 0 to 1 and 1 to 0. So this means if 1 is yes, then one shows the presence of the disease, and it is better to map 1 to 1. Here you can choose the base category, the base education level, and click on run logistic regression. So the whole logistic regression results are there. This is the model information. These are the model parameters along with the odds ratios and the p-values. And you can go to the visualization section, and here you can see few visualization related to logistic regression like ROC curve, predicted probabilities. Here you can also see the classification table, which contains the sensitivity, specificity, the accuracy of the model, the area under the normal, area under the curve, and the prediction section. When we run that logistic regression model, one of the objectives is to make predictions. For example, if an individual with age 34, gender male, income 5,000, education level graduate, and the satisfaction level is say 32, say height is 168, weight is 75 kg, and predict. Now it will predict whether this individual has high probability of heart disease or not. So with these specification, the predicted probability is only 7%. So it's very rare to have heart disease with these kind of characteristics if an individual has. So there is some advanced analysis, specialized analysis, like survival analysis, reliability analysis, median moderation, exploratory analysis, cluster analysis, meta-analysis, confirmatory factor analysis. So as I told you, one cool feature is the publication ready. For example, one of the required thing is to present a flow diagram depending upon your study, whether it is a clinical trial or it is a meta-analysis study, then you're supposed to report a Prisma flow diagram. If it is a survey-based study, then you need to provide the whole hierarchy of the final sample included. If it is a cohort study, and everything you can control from here. So what is the number? What is the title? So the whole the things are customizable. Even you can uh, design your own templates. So these are the one of the few of the commonly used templates like Prisma Flow, cohort studies, clinical trials, survey-based studies. So there is another cool feature, table one. One of the requirement in the research paper is the table one. Table one is usually the first table which consists of the baseline characteristics of your study, uh, and you know it that some variables can be categorical, some variables can be numerical. So the way of analyzing the numerical variable is different. The way of analyzing categorical variable is different. When you're using this in ordinary other softwares, then you have to separately calculate the categorical variables separately, the numerical variables separately, and then you need to design a consolidated table which can use all the variables in one table, both categorical and numerical. So here, irrespective whether the variable is categorical and numerical, so there is intelligent system which automatically detect which variable is numerical and which variable is categorical and design the table. For example, age is a numeric variable, so it calculated mean and standard deviation for it. So gender is a categorical variable, so it calculated the frequency and percentages for it. Again, income is numerical, so it calculated the mean and standard deviation. For education, it calculated the frequency and percentages. So this is a very intelligent system here, which can not only produce a table one for your research within minutes and with complete write-up. So similarly, there are specialized feature. I will made another video describing the detailed features of publication ready tools. So say for example, table one. So again, just like table one, there is a table two required, which which is required to correlate or relate your response variable with the independent factors. For example, uh, say in my study, say I want to see the gender differences. So my grouping variable is gender, and again you can select all numerical and categorical variables irrespective. So DataStatPro it intelligently detect itself which variable is categorical, which variable is numerical. Uh, uh, for numerical variable, there will be a different statistical test. For categorical variable, there will be a different statistical test. If data is normal, then there will be a different test. If data is not normal, then there will be a different test. So all will be decided by the software. So just click on table 2 and you can see the first comparison is age. As we know that the age is numeric. So the mean and standard deviations are calculated and a test is applied and there is so this is independent samples t test is used. The relation between education and gender. So there is a different test B. So if you go back, chi-square test is used. So it is intelligently uh, decide on the basis of the data characteristics that which test is suitable. So this is totally hassle-free for those who are less knowledgeable in applying these tests. So as you can see, the complete write-up of table 2 is there. So in some situation, you need to provide a post hoc test table. In some situation, you need to provide the effect sizes. Then you can go for the standardized mean differences table. So there is a regression table. If your study include objective related to regression, then you can choose the say I applied logistic regression for my research, semi-dependent variables. Then there, let me select few independent variables. So you can see here a publication-ready regression table is there with the whole bunch of the write-up. So no need to worry about this is the write-up is very scientifically written. So only few changes will be required before the final submission. So most of the things are ready. Now let's move to our next module, data visualization. You can click here and you can choose any visualization of your choice and say, let me click on box plot and I want to make a box plot for blood pressure and I can click on generate. So a simple box plot is there. However, if I want to add a grouping variable, say gender, then again click on generate. It will produce a side-by-side box plot for comparison. And for example, I have another, I want to stratify it by education. This is the option, and then you can click here. Then you will see a side-by-side box plot with stratified variable. You can include mean. You can change the orientation. You can show notes on it. And there are another few customized feature for chart customization. You can click here and you can change the x-axis category level. You can change the y-axis category level. You can choose a different theme. For example, I want a bold theme. And click on apply customization. You can see and the changes will reflect over there. For example, I want a diverging theme, so it changed to a diverging theme. Say I want a pastel theme, so it will change to a pastel theme. So a lot of customization features are available for the visualization. So, okay, move to the next module, the sample size calculator. When you click on sample size calculator, it is for one sample, it is for two samples, it is for paired samples, it's for more than two samples. For example, let me launch one sample calculator. So it can lead us to two situations, whether your study is based on proportions or whether your study is based on the means. The most common one is the based on the proportion, the prevalence based estimation of the sample size. For example, the expected prevalence, the historic figure is 50%, say with a population size of 10,000. and the margin of error is say 7%, confidence level 95%, and you can uh, click on calculate, and you will say now the sample size of 223 is required. If I change it to 90%, it is required 158. If I increase the margin of error, the sample size is decreasing, and this is the behavior of the margin of error and the sample size. Similarly, you can use the other options depending upon your study design. We have a complete suite for epidemiologists, the epidemiology calculator. It can do the risk estimates for case control studies, cohort studies, cross-sectional studies, matched case control studies, and there is a separate module for the sample size and power estimation for the epidemiological studies. For example, say for the case control studies, we have a contingency table, exposed, unexposed cases, controls. So let me enter a few demo figures. So, for example, this is my contingency table. Then I can click on calculate. It will estimate the odds ratio, the chi-square test, and the Yates corrected chi-square test. For example, if my problem is for the stratified, for example, this table is for the relationship between smoking and lung cancer, and one of the important factor, stratified variable or control factor can be the age. So let me add stratum. In that situation, we have one contingency table for say age less than 50 years and one contingency table for age more than 50 years. So let me add the contingency table for say greater than 50 years. So one contingency table for less than 50 years, one contingency table for more than 50 years of age. And now let me click on calculate. Now you can see more statistics are produced. One is the crude odd ratio. Crude odd ratio is the odds ratio calculated from the combined table of less than and more than 50 years age. Then we have a directly adjusted odds ratios. Then we have a mental Hensel adjusted odds ratio along with the 95% confidence interval. We have chi-square test. We have Yates corrected chi-square, and we have adjusted chi-square, the mental Hensel adjusted chi-square, along with their p-values. The same, you can see the similar sort of interface for the cross-sectional studies, for the cohort studies, for the matched case control studies, and you can see the sample size and power calculator for the epidemiological studies. For example, you are comparing two proportion, a case control study, or a cross-sectional study, or whether you want to estimate the sample size based on the odds ratio. So there are two options: solve for sample size or solve for power. So given one thing, you will get the other thing. If you solve it for sample size, you need to fix the power. If you want to solve it for power, you need to adjust the sample size. So here the result, for example, with these specifications, a sample size of 461 is required, 231 cases to 31 controls. However, if you want to change the ratio of controls to cases, say let me 1 to 2, and when I calculate it, so for 178 cases, we need 355 controls, because I mentioned that the control should be double. Or for example, if I increase the odd ratio to 3 and recalculate the sample size, then we have different calculations. If we change the proportion, you will get a different. So you can adjust your sample size and power based on these varying parameters. So there are other few options like the guided workflows. There are help resources